This is Naj coming at you from my creative world. This here is the very first episode of Building with Naj, my very first episode on this channel, actually. If you can't tell by my attire and by the colloquialisms I may or may not be using, I am focusing on 1920s architecture. It's something that not a lot of people really do much with. So, we're going to do this, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I really do. If you do enjoy it at the end, or at the beginning, or in the middle, or at any point, just please watch the video through the end. Please click that like button, maybe subscribe, hit the little bell if you'd like to be notified of my future videos. Hoping to put a couple out, maybe 2 a week start, so we'll see how that goes. But for the time being, let's get on into it. I still haven't told you what we're doing yet, and that's because I want to show you a quick glimpse. Let's go into first person mode here, and this right here, ignore the thing in the distance, this right here, this lovely piece of architecture is what we will be looking at today. This is what we call the Art Deco style. It's sort of a futuristic style blended with clean lines. I have done a few too many curves here in this particular model. We're going to be changing that a little bit. But Art Deco is probably one of the most well-known, well-understood, well-recognized maybe, types of architecture from the 1920s. I really love it. I've fallen in love with this style and this palette in general. I love it a lot. There is no interior. As you can see here, there will not be any interior in the one that I build today, and the floors will definitely be changed out at some point. You can kind of see some of the walls here. Some of the interior is a little iffy, but we'll get around to decorating things, but not today. That comes in the second episode, I believe, we're going to be doing. I am not going to be doing a tutorial, a step-by-step tutorial, that is. I don't like doing that. I don't like following them. My profession, actually, I'm a physicist, just so you know. I'm not a chemist. I'm a cook. I'm not a baker. I don't do well with instructions. I like give me a concept, give me a focus, and that's what I do best at. That's how I'm kind of approaching this channel. If you like that, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know too. I really want to kind of get this channel off to a good start, see if you guys are interested in any of that, and we'll go from there. So, let me get things set up. We will be right back in just a couple of moments. Alright guys, so here we are. I have everything set up here. Before me, and before you, is our setting. Just andesite, polished granite, just so we can see every little square. I like building like this. No particular area that we've got here. Enough so we can make a nice little building. The top floor might overhang a little bit. I'm planning on just doing 2 floors, I believe. Maybe 3. We'll see how it goes. Everything will be from a first person's point of view, or third person right behind me. Probably not too much of that. I'm not too comfortable with that. I do not have a camera account at this point, since I'm just getting started, and I really just wanted to get this out to you guys. A quick review of our block palette. Primarily, we're going to be using white concrete, followed by highlights of cyan concrete, all these little lovely andesite pieces. The windows are going to be from the cyan stained glass panes, doors, the jungle variety, and lanterns. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. Hopefully you enjoy this. Again, this is not a tutorial with a step-by-step instructions. This is going to be a general how to build this style in a house. I think at some point I do plan on going to other styles of buildings, maybe barbershops, high-rise, eventually, that's the hope. But this is going to be a simple house you can build for yourself. Probably not too early, since it will require a lot of concrete in a single-player, non-creative world. But it is a fun thing. I am enjoying using these houses now for my own. I fill them with lots of redstone. It's quite fun. Probably get into that in the second episode, but for now, let's actually build this thing. So to start, I like laying out a little bit of a base. I generally like to leave a little bit of space up here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let's just do that. And I'm just going to make a nice little outline here. Nothing too fancy. Here I am going to, I think, bring it into a little bit of a curve, and then bring this over here around into a nice straight line. Let's give a little bit of variety over here, a little bit more area for us to play with. And back around. And let's close it off. So this is the plan I am opting to go with. As you probably noticed from the previous house that I built, whenever I have a curve like this, I tend to like filling it with windows. We're going to do that later. I follow a System Z approach, if you all are familiar with him at all. He tends to, I believe, it's been a while since I've seen one of his building videos, but he tends to have it so that he builds everything up first, then knocks parts of it out, and puts windows. I think green does the same thing. Here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's fine. I don't like that. And the weather's back. I love this weather. It's so wonderful. I'm in the 1.14 pre-release right now, actually. So that is quite fun. There we go. I'm going to knock this section out right there. That's going to be my door. So I'm just going to put a door there for the time being. I do like giving myself a little bit extra depth here. Depth is very important. And here I'm just going to build this. Alright, so here we've got something very, very, very basic. Okay, I'm not going to put all of the windows in right now, but I am going to knock out a space for them. In doing these bay windows like I'm doing right here, I find it's often best, I'm going to make this nice and big, to leave a little bit of edge here. Because the idea here is to make this section, make this area as clean as possible, as round as possible in this case. And these lovely walls, andesite walls, I love them. I do wish we had polished andesite walls. That'd be nice. It's like stone, but you know what? It's not quite. And I love it. Right, so this is our first window. I'm going to knock out another window right about here. Large windows are a definite must for this style of build, but pepper that in with some smaller ones as well. I'm going to put a couple of small ones in there, and then bring this with another large one, not too large. Over the doors, I find that putting out a little bit of something like this gives you just a little bit more depth. I mean, adding that in is just going to give you a little bit more space that you might not otherwise have. I'm going to knock that corner out there, give us a little bit more of not such a harsh area. It's supposed to be clean lines, but on the occasion, you can do something like this. We have tons of clean lines that are going to be going over here, so let's just pop this guy in right there. There we go. And then back here, I'm going to give our people living here a little door. because, you know what, people like doors. And again, up top, I'm just going to knock out this area up here, so we can have a little bit more. And I might bring a window in there just to add a little bit of variation. And here we're just going to do 2 smaller windows. And as you can see, it's going to be very open in terms of letting the outside in. A lot of these Art Deco homes and this style, kind of style that I'm building here, were, shall we say, not necessarily in the city. These were more suburban or rural houses. This is a kind of a small one, so I'd say this is probably a suburb where it would belong. And if I were to leave it like this, definitely a suburb. I could, but we're going to add another level on top, and it will become a little bit more of a grandiose house. So here I'm going to give us just an extra space. This style, you don't want to go up too high. What I mean by that is, yes, we have large ceilings, and yes, I'm leaving a space here so that I can put a flooring in. So this is the first floor. We have up 5. It might be 4.5 at the end, depending on what we decide to do in the next episode. And then up top, over the flooring, we will have over the ceiling, we'll have a floor that we can do whatever we want with. For now, I'm just going to leave it like this, open, but we can do whatever we want when the time comes. For time being, let's go into another quick time lapse here. Alright, and here we have the second floor. At this point, it's very boring, very bland. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to bring an area out here. I'm going to put a couple of slabs on top of there. And what I'm going to do is... Oh, it's raining again. That's one thing I'm not a big fan of in this new update, is it seems the weather is a lot more times a day. A lot more chaotic. So here I'm just going to bring this out. So this is going to be 2, 3. Let's go 2 there. 1 there, and we'll bring that, let's bring that 3, a bit more, there we go, that'll do. And we'll just fill this guy in. Let's not fill it in, actually, because we're going to go there, and then this is going to come over. That's gone. And we have here a nice, another area for a window. All right. Let's just mirror everything up here. All right, there go. This needs to be knocked out there, because that is the floor. Now we have the second floor here. Again, it's giving us a little bit more character up top. That will be coming quite handy. Here, because it is fairly straight, I do want to bring in a little bit of variation. So I'm going to knock out a section right here, 2 by area. Go 2, knock out another 2 by area. Maybe make this 3 between. And 2. Alright, and what I'm doing here is I'm just going to give us a little bit of depth back here. Nothing too chaotic. Just a little bit of variation. It's going to also be a nice piece when you look at it from the front. Again, we're going to go in more detail on the inside at another point. That gives us, again, some more depth here. It'll mirror nicely with those windows. I might put in some windows here, just some slight slabs across there. That'll give us an interesting look. And let's see, we'll do one layer at the top. Some of these Art Deco houses had slanted roofs, gable roofs, half gables, every kind of thing you can imagine. Flat. You see a lot of the flat ones, especially in semi-suburban, what's what I'm looking for? Semi-suburban and semi-city. But we're not going to worry about that just right now. For now, we're actually going to go in and do some decorating. We're going to start with the first floor and put in these windows. Here we can do a couple of things. I am going to do something that I rather enjoy doing to add a little bit of depth and variation in here and a little dash of color. That brings in a little bit of color there. We'll bring across some slabs. And here, we're actually going to put a wall. This will break things up a little bit, give you a lot more depth right there. Of course, this wouldn't be standing on its own, so here we're going to knock those guys out and actually bring in a regular andesite stair. I shouldn't have any more doors, so I'm going to get rid of that. And here, now we've got a nice area that's got quite a lot of depth there. To make things nice and even up here, because we've got this space, I'm going to open up right across here. And that'll bring in this nice feeling area where we feel like nothing is exposed. We could do some more things over here. We might, but things are looking fairly nice. Another thing that I really like doing in all my builds is for the extra piece, of depth, I like putting this here. And having the polished andesite right there really makes things look a little bit nicer. Another polished andesite right there breaks it up just a bit because there's a lot of regular andesite that we're looking at. We are going on 31 minutes of recording. This is pretty cool. This is fun. All right, moving on over to the first window. We're going to just fill this sucker in right there. And on the sides here, we're going to bring in the cyan concrete once again. But here, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use our polished andesite stairs to create an ionic sort of column. Ionic is, of course, referencing the classic styles brought to us by the Greeks and the Romans. And up here, I'm going to bring in some more of these upside down stairs. No. And I want to actually bring in regular slabs right up at the top. Give us, again, some more of that variation. Down here, we could do a couple different things. I'm going to just pop in some of these andesite slabs. Maybe not. Let's see. Bring in a wall. I'll leave that for now. And I am failing at doing Minecraft. Again, I hate this weather thing. Ojang, if you are listening, I don't think you're listening to my video right now. But if you are, please fix that. And that's obnoxious. All right, so here we're going to do something a little bit different than we've been doing so far for the windows. We're just going to bring it in as a window. And we're going to put our nice accent there. This breaks up our window type just a little bit, giving us some more variation, some more differentiation. And as you can tell, already is looking a lot better than it was with just plain white wall. This is why I love this andesite. It is awesome. We could do a couple different things out here. I'm not going to do too much right now. Again, this is giving us, we're kind of following these themes of building in this way. I'm going to continue on the front here, and then we'll move around to the rest. Here we're going to bring out your dead. Dung. No. Here we're going to bring out our window. Down here, unlike what I did before, I'm actually going to bring... bother. Okay, I'm going to bring these stairs on the inside here because it will give us... We don't want to protrude too much outside on the second level. As it is, we're already giving ourselves quite a bit of change and variation in here, and yes, that's what we want at the moment, but too much change and variation can lead to, well, our eyes being diverted to areas where we don't necessarily want them. We want it to look as clean as we possibly can, especially for this style of build. And here we do have, again, a little bit more depth there, because we're doing things just on the inside. If we did on the outside, it would also give us depth, but I don't think it's the right kind of depth that we want. For here, I did not do that. I should have. And we're going to bring in just a little bit of cyan concrete right between these, give us a little bit extra color as we pop in these lovely windows. Right now, it's looking kind of bare in here, which is why we're going to use this lovely little trick. We're going to alternate here, and here we're going to bring that in. That gives us a little bit of change, a little darkness in there to accentuate any light coming out later on. So I'm just going to fill these guys in quickly. It gives us a lot of depth here, a lot of variation, which is what we want. It is also unique. It pops. It's different. We're going to come back to the tops of these later and bring in some wall decorations, I believe. Part of the 1920s was you were combining a ton of different ideas. A ton. I mean, you're coming from the Victorian era, which is very austere and very grand. Austere and grand are not two words you usually hear a lot used together, especially, but I think they fit rather nicely here. A little bit of variation up there. Again, we're going to do our columns, and there's our window. Now we're going to come up to these guys, and here's where things get a little bit fun, I think, if I can place blocks. So again, we could put this cyan in between. That's going to be a lot of color, though. This style does not behoove us to have that much color necessarily. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to, on the 2x, have regular stairs, regular andesite stairs, and on these 1x windows, we're going to have these other stairs. And in between, we're going to put these lovely sort of shutters. Breaks things up, gives it a little bit of change. We're going to put some slabs right in here. Again, more texture, more variation, brings your eyes, not too much, brings your eyes right to where you want it to be. And in this case, I think it looks cool, white, neat, quite cool. And it gives us just that bit that we want. I am going to change the center ones here to match a little bit better. So we have a little bit of just a little bit that you can kind of see the symmetry. Kind of. It's a little testy, but you know. Yeah. And here we kind of get a good glimpse of this variation. This is pretty close to a lot of the styles that you would see in this kind of build. And the weather is terrible. Don't like it. So up here, we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a wall. And if you want, you can increase it one more. Although if you do this, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to look out. I rather like this. You're probably not going to want to jump over, let's be honest. Back here, again, we're going to bring in a little bit of our colorization. Here, we're not actually going to put in a window, I think, because you don't really need to. And in this case, we just want a little bit of decoration. Here, however, we're going to knock these two pieces out. Boy, I cannot do things today. And we're going to bring this around just like that. To give us a little bit more definition, I'm going to if I can get things to work correctly. Okay, let's I shouldn't have taken that guy out. Alright, let's do that. And we're going to bring you there, and you there, and then you bring you right there. And here we're going to toss that there, and then that there. Oh. And this is quite a pain to get this all going the right way. So, if anyone has any hints on a way to do this part of things easier, please do let me know, because it's a pain. It's a right pain to do that. And I just want a nice little, you know what, whatever. It doesn't look that great, but it will do. And it does bring that in quite nicely. A little awkward, but you know what? It'll work. Again, we can change this out for another type of wood at another point. Here I'm going to just finish bringing that up. We're going to toss in some regular andesite stairs there and create a little piece of, yeah. Here, I do believe that bringing that in will make a nice look as well. And here again, we got a fair amount of decoration. It looks kind of interesting, kind of different. I'm going to make this side of things less clean cut and bring in more of a circular bit. Right over here, we're also going to bring in this feeling that it's more rounded. And if you really wanted to, you could, of course, put in some more walls here, make it overhang just a little bit more if you are that daring when it comes to mobs. It does look nice. It does bring in just a tad bit more. And again, we do have a lot going on. Quite nice. If we're on level with this, it looks awesome. You're coming in, you're gonna go visit your friend's house, and you got this awesome thing coming in. You knock, or just open the door like I did. Speaking of which, I need a door over here. Cool. And they've got this wonderful, very empty space. We'll be fixing this next time. If I were you, if you're in a single-player world, if you're on a survival world, that is, light this thing up. Just light it up. It's gonna be dark in there. Yeah, I would light it up. That'd be a good idea. This is the end all. So let's just give a once more of it. First floor entrance, some windows, probably for a kitchen or sitting room. Over here, more likely sitting room. Who knows? Definitely dining room area, this nice big area. You can look out into the garden or whatever you've got back here, your wheat fields that go on for ages. A little tiny area with a couple of windows, really just there for decoration. Second exit, because if you get attacked, you need a second spot, and it looks cool. Let's be honest, it looks cool. And then another window right here, so your guests can look out as they come in and put their items in an ender chest that you've got here, or just your own storage. Going up to the top, we have another lookout section where your children or your dogs or any pets that you have in Minecraft can look out at what's going on out here and have fun. We've got this nice little area that is just mostly for decoration. Oh, pardon me. A nice little area here that is mostly just for decoration, but you've got these little slats. Maybe these are bathrooms. I don't know. So we'll find out next time. Do you put bathrooms in your Minecraft houses? That'd be cool to find out. I usually don't, but you know what? If I'm going for realism, I should. And it gives a nice little effect here. Over on this side up top here, again, nice little window bay area. Maybe not bathrooms here, who knows, if you put them in. And then our little deck walking out, having some fun, another large window, and then this lovely set of windows over here that are just lovely window over here that's just unique. And if you did enjoy, I would really appreciate a like, a share, maybe subscribe if you're really interested in seeing what's coming next. And with that all said and done, I hope to see you next time, and have a wonderful week. Until here you can see my palette that I've chosen at the bottom of the screen. Of course, I've got the lovely lantern. I do love this thing. It is awesome. Probably one of my favorite things that's been added to the new update. A couple of andesite pieces, slabs, stairs, walls, white concrete, cyan concrete, and cyan stained glass. I like using the panes because I can do a lot of fun things.